The Rob Carson Show is presented by Paramount Plus.
The Agency. All episodes now streaming on Paramount Plus. In a world of espionage, truth is a moving target and every decision carries a dangerous consequence. This new mission explores what it means to live as a double agent, twice the lies, twice the risk. The lines between ally and enemy blur like never before, and survival depends on trusting no one. Starring Michael Fassbender, Jeffrey Wright, Jodie Turner-Smith, and Richard Gere. Don't miss The Agency. All episodes now streaming on Paramount Plus.
You are about to hear the most interesting, informative, thought-provoking, and funny show in America. On air and on the World Wide Web. This is the Rob Carson Show.
Okay. Right off the bat, it says children born in the United States to parents unlawfully or temporarily present are, quote, subject to the jurisdiction of the United States and are citizens at birth under the 14th Amendment's Citizenship Clause. So look how this broke down. As we expected, the Chief Justice wrote this opinion. Justices Sotomayor, Kagan, Barrett, and Jackson joined. Jackson has a concurring opinion in which Sotomayor joins. Justice Kavanaugh files an opinion concurring in the judgment and dissenting in part. The dissent comes from Justice Thomas. He is joined by Gorsuch, Alito.
Yeah, because they're smart.
And then Justice Gorsuch apparently has his own dissenting opinion. So it is what we expected after the arguments here. And it looks like a bit of a split, but enough of a plurality coming together to say that the executive order that the president issued very quickly upon taking office is no good, and that if people are here, subject to the jurisdiction thereof includes people who are here illegally.
Now, I don't know why the Democrat Party is so concerned about stuffing the Supreme Court when we have idiots on the Supreme Court who do their bidding anyway. I mean, honestly, what the hell's the point in stuffing the Supreme Court? It's already stuffed with stupid people. My God, are you kidding me? You got a woman on the Supreme Court who didn't know what the hell a woman was, did not know how to define a woman, for God's sake, and clearly doesn't know D word for Richard about the Constitution. So there's that. Now, that said, I could be angry about this, but I choose not to today because there are other venues. This is the reputation of a presidential executive order, and there may be other avenues to go at. This is what the Supreme Court has done. Donald Trump has found other ways, for instance, the rejection of tariffs. Remember that one? Okay, all right. So I'm still trying to digest all of this, and I'm trying not to, I'm trying to be a solution finder, not just somebody who has an opinion and likes to pound a desk and whatnot. So there you go. There you go. Is it a good decision? No, it's a stupid decision. But then again, we kind of got some stupid people on the Supreme Court like Ketanji Brown Jackson. That's racist. No, she's an idiot. She's a complete illiterate moron. But anyway, 194-page Trump versus Barber decision says Trump's order violates the 14th Amendment, which is absolute crap. In 2025, Trump rejected the claim that nearly all births on U.S. soil count for citizenship. The privilege of United States citizenship does not automatically extend to persons born in the United States. It shouldn't be that way. When that person's mother was unlawfully present in the United States and the father was not a United States citizen or lawful permanent resident at the time of said person's birth. And maybe this needs to be solved with tighter restrictions on who we allow to come to the country. What is the purpose of your visit, etc., to when that person's mother presence in the United States at the time of said birth was lawful but temporary, such as and the father was not a United States citizen or permanent resident at the time of said person's birth. Maybe we need to go after these birthing centers that exist just to bring people in to give birth to become American citizens. There are ways that we can, I think, negotiate around this. I'm trying to get a hold of Doug Burns. I'm sure he's the most can't do first half hour. I can do anywhere 1 to 1:45. Okay, let's do that. Let's do 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock. There you go. Doug Burns will be on at 1 o'clock. We'll just do that. I'm going to and the reason I'm doing this is I'm going to, Ken, if you're listening, Redneck MacGyver, Doug says he can do between 1 and 1:45, so let's do 1 o'clock. Let's do 1 o'clock. There we go. And the text was not delivered because the Wi-Fi where I live is from the 1700s. It's not very good. So let me see. Millions of infants with no parental connection to the United States have gained citizenship via this route, much to the advantage of the Democrat Party, various business interests, as well as foreign governments such as those of China and India. And like I said, I wouldn't say that this is absolute, as so many of these rulings Donald Trump has been able to work around and discover that there are alternate ways to do things. The older practice made sense in the 1800s when the United States was far more isolated by geography from competing foreign nations and cultures. Those barriers have largely been eliminated by aircraft and mass electronic media, but unfortunately we're not immune to stupid, uninformed academics on the Supreme Court. There you go. The other big story, common sense ruling, not necessarily totally about constitutionality. The Supreme Court handed a victory down to conservatives and purveyors of common sense, ruling Tuesday. States can ban biological boys who believe there are girls from competing in women's sports. In publicly funded schools. Brett Kavanaugh pinned the 6-3 majority opinion, which essentially determined that Title IX allows sex-segregated athletic teams, therefore states can make such determinations accordingly. Why are there no biological women in men's sports? Why do you suppose there are no biological women in the NBA? Why do you suppose there are no biological born women? I don't have my background on. Holy hell, I don't have my background on yet. I've been so damn busy with absorbing all of this stuff. Pardon me. But why aren't biological women in men's sports? Because men have, unfortunately, the death of shame has occurred in our country. I'm turning on my background here real quick so you don't have to just look at a dark background here. It's because men and the death of shame has allowed men who cannot compete with men to compete with women. And I never thought that I'd actually see the day that this happened. I'll take care of this in a minute. Dear Lord, I apologize. I'm kind of doing everything myself, and so consequently, I have to do everything. Hold on, let me just get this background. This is going to drive me crazy. Hold on, source. Here we go. Give me a second. See, because I do everything myself. And then, like a toddler, it misbehaves while I'm trying to actually do it in front of an audience. Here we go. Come on. There we go. One more. Hold on. Yeah, I'm giving you kind of a sneak peek into everything here. I do myself. All right, it's going to load. It's going to be a pain in the rear end, and eventually I'll get it. But that said, once again, this is kind of a victory for common sense. This is something that we have been debating, unfortunately, for a while, and it makes no bloody sense whatsoever. It makes no bloody sense whatsoever. Fortunately, we did get a victory, and then we obviously have a defeat. We will continue this conversation when we get Doug Burns on next hour. Once again, we'll get Doug Burns on in the next hour. In the meantime, I'm going to play a piece of satire by Jim Gossett while I get the background going, actually, is what I'm going to do. If I can get the piece of satire by Jim Gossett to play, which, of course, it does not want to do. So there you go. Of course, this is just the way it works. Hold on, let me find it here. Wow. What a way to start the show. All right, I'll just have to wait on that. I will have to wait on that. Let's move on to other stuff as we continue the radio program. Donald Trump yesterday talking about the rise of communism in America in the Democrat Party.
Are you worried about more socialist candidates across the United States?
I think it's a big threat to our nation, actually. Because it's not socialism, it's really communism. They use the word social democrat because it sounds so nice, but it's really communism you're talking about. I think it's the biggest threat to our nation there is. It's basically introducing communism into the United States of America. There's never been anything so dangerous.
No, there never has been anything dangerous, anything more dangerous. Now, it's kind of interesting because some Democrats are saying that this is not a wholesale takeover of the Democrat Party. And then you've got other Democrats welcoming this into the party because they have a big tent. So they're saying it's not a wholesale takeover of the Democrat Party, but they're welcoming it into the Democrat tent. While all the while, the communists who are entering the tent are saying there's no room for the Democrats in the Democrat Socialist America. So the Democrat Socialist America are using the Democrat Party to move in, kind of like the aliens from Independence Day. They move in, they devour all the resources, then they just take over. All right, that's what's happening with the Democrat Party. Here's a little bit more from Donald Trump on socialists and how they operate, and it makes a lot of sense considering that Donald Trump, there have been 4 assassination attempts against him.
But I'm sorry to say, but assassinations of those who oppose them is a very important element of their ideology. Assassination's a big deal for them. They're animals. They're animals. In many cases, they're not smart, but in some cases, they are. It's easy for them to get followers because they make promises that they know they can't keep. And the Democrats aren't fighting back. That's why they're dumb. They're not fighting back. They're afraid.
Yeah, they're welcoming them into the tent. Even though they are broadcasting they are going to take over the Democrat Party. That is kind of stupid.
I watch Schumer. He's afraid to fight.
It's like Poland saying, come on in, Nazis, or France saying, come on in, Nazis, take over.
I watch guys that are pretty normal and guys that we oppose. They're afraid to fight. The Democrats have taken a tremendous turn left, and many of these people, I looked at some of the people that got elected the other night in New York. These are in many ways stupid people.
Yeah.
In some ways, and intellectually probably pretty smart.
Yeah.
But they're people that want to.
Well, they're academics. They've been in college, like this Chevalier woman's been in college for 12 years.
Destroy our country. They hate our country. They hate our people. They hate the Democrat Party.
There's a woman running in Colorado who's been in college for like 14 years and works as a barista.
The Democrat Party is in big trouble.
And she wants to take over private businesses and socialize medicine.
Because this isn't stopping with New York. This is going on. It's too easy to get elected. Yeah. Giving everything away. Too easy to get elected.
Yeah, I got 3 radical Democrats in New York getting elected for nationwide office, fewer than 150,000 votes.
Very dangerous, but you'll soon have nothing left. That's the problem. In many ways, they're allowing them to just go their own way, do your own. We don't want to take a chance on saying anything bad because we're afraid we're going to lose our jobs if we do. They're afraid they're going to lose their election if they even think about saying anything bad about this new.
Well, then I guess we will have to do the battle. That's it. I refuse to be a pessimist about things, whether it be that ruling from the Supreme Court today about birthright citizen, or whether it be this rise of supposed communism, Democrat socialism in the Democrat Party. It was rejected nationally, resoundingly in 2024, despite the fact that Kamala Harris spent over $1 billion on a campaign. It was rejected, and we need to come together. And this includes you Democrats who don't want to go down this road. I don't know if any of you listen to my show. I doubt it. But you might want to get on board. Listen, we're going to take a break and come back. Going to get Doug Burns again after the top of the hour in the 1 o'clock hour. And then, of course, your phone calls are welcome. 800-922-6680. This is The Rob Carson Show.
WCBM.
The Rob Carson Show podcast is everywhere. Go to newsmax.com/listen for details.
That is the Rob Carson Show on a, what? It's the 30th of June, isn't it? Pride Month is almost over. Wow. What a Pride Month, huh? Anyway, we'll get to that later in the radio program. It took a very dark turn in a lot of different ways, including in San Francisco, where pedophiles were running around with no clothes on around children, around fountains. And if I were an adult with my kids out there and an adult man decided to strip nude and run around a fountain in the town square, I don't think it would end well for the person strutting around naked in front of my kid. There you go. So that's your Democrat Party. That's what happens in Democrat enclaves. Again, for those just tuning in, what have we learned today? Well, we've learned that I do the show in front of a TV screen. There you go. We learned. I was so dang busy, getting everything together for the show, getting all of the audio for the show together, that I forgot to turn on the background. And I'll tell you, the last 24 hours, generally I do about, I usually say 10 hours of show prep for a 3-hour show. I think I went a little bit further than that. Part of that is because I really don't have a life, but also another part of it is I want to put together the best, most informed show I can and weave a tapestry of sound. I like to weave a tapestry of sound. So we do that. Back to these insane communists who are running for and have won in primaries in places like New York. Deleted tweets on Darazelia Avila Chevalier's account. So she's D-A-K. She's DAC. We'll just call her DAC. How's that? Had favorable references to communist leaders and Marxism. Well, of course. Now, here's the great thing about this. I mentioned this yesterday. The Democrat Party for the last couple of decades has been espousing DEI, CRT, communism, take the American flag out of the classroom, get rid of the Pledge of Allegiance, take God out of the classroom, and now it's coming back to bite them in the rear end. Because the progeny of those that nonsense, those who were taught that nonsense, they get into academia, and in the case of Darazelia Avila DAC, in the case of DAC, she's been in school since I think 2016, and she's never had a real job. And then you get a well-motivated bunch of morons bought and paid for by somebody like Neville Singham or George Soros, and they win a primary, and that's how they get ushered in. And then these little children decide they're going to tell us how to live our lives, like the babysitters, like the children telling the operators of the daycare center what to do. And I got to tell you, that crap ain't going to fly in my world. I don't know about you, but the Democrat Party is apparently willing to let them just take over. But this doesn't surprise me because the Democrat Party are a bunch of wimps. They don't win with any sort of platform or any ideas or whatever. They usually have groups on the left who do all their talking for them, who burn Tesla dealerships and do no Kings rallies. Well, guess what? Those guys have now just forsaken the Democrat Party. This is Jamie Gangel on CNN talking about how America is not socialist, and it's not, by the way. And then someone else on this CNN panel saying that the Democrat Party hasn't gone all in on socialism, which I disagree with.
I'm a New Yorker. I say this from a place of love. New York is not the center of the universe, and Democratic leaders are actually worried about this, even though, look, we may see it in blue places here and there. But here's why they're worried. A primary is not a general. No. And to win in contested or close places, that requires independents, swing voters. Yes. They're not going.
And nationally, it still has not gained popularity. Socialism has still not gained popularity. Hence the reason why Bernie Sanders has never been a serious national candidate.
To win if these are primaries.
Yeah, but I think you raise a very smart point. I mean, New York City, as much as it is, the largest city in America, it is not America writ large in terms of how Democratic voters are voting across the country. I mean, we're seeing it in New York. We are not seeing it everywhere, much to, I know, Hogan's chagrin, because Republicans would love to say that we are now the party of DSA. We just saw Carolyn Levitt saying that. But that is not who we are writ large.
Really? Then why don't you put up a fight? Why don't you put up a fight instead of being like Robert Garcia and saying, oh, no, we're perfectly fine with these people coming in?
And at the same time, elections elect people from their communities. And when folks win, like what happened in New York or other places, whether it was Utah, New York, or Maryland, and we have new members coming in, I think it's our job is to welcome them.
I think I'd be a little concerned if in my party, some people running under the moniker of my party said that they were anti-police, no police, no prisons, no borders, and anti-Semitic.
They were elected by the folks in those constituencies. And so as Democrats, they're going to be members of our caucus. And it's important that we welcome.
You can't get along with these people. This has been repeated throughout history as political parties were taken over by radicals, and then the people in those parties were driven out or murdered.
Them as part of our caucus, we have to have a big tent.
But Mr. Garcia, I mean, politics is perception in a lot of cases. Won't voters think your party is getting more extreme?
We already do, because you already are.
At the end of the day,
oh God, I hate that expression.
The voters of districts elect their nominees. And who are we to tell the voters of whether it's in New York or Maryland or Utah who is there?
That's capitulation, by the way. It reminded me of this.
And we'd like to Ladies and gentlemen, we've just lost the picture, but what we've seen speaks for itself. Conquered, if you will, by a master race. One thing is for certain.
What's that?
There is no stopping them. And I, for one, welcome our new overlords. I'd like to remind them that as a trusted TV personality, I can be helpful in rounding up others.
There you go. That's Bernie Sanders right there. All right? That's your Democrat Party right there. That's capitulation. They're doing it. They're letting them have it. And then the left is going to let them have it. Let's take a break and come back. This is The Rob Carson Show.
The Rob Carson Show is presented by Paramount Plus.
The Agency. All episodes now streaming on Paramount Plus. In a world of espionage, truth is a moving target, and every decision carries a dangerous consequence. This new mission explores what it means to live as a double agent. Twice the lies, twice the risk. The lines between ally and enemy blur like never before, and survival depends on trusting no one. Starring Michael Fassbender, Jeffrey Wright, Jodie Turner-Smith, and Richard Gere. Don't miss The Agency. All episodes now streaming on Paramount Plus.
John Thune, should rid ourselves of him soon. He is a worthless rhino. He is such a buffoon. John Thune, thanks to him, SAVAC's delayed. People who put him in charge must feel like they have been played. Nobody could be much weaker, as the leader Thune has failed. He has made things so much bleaker. His leadership should be curtailed. John Thune, a disappointment like Mitch. SAVAC, he'll never pass. It's time that they made a switch.
Hey guys, it's Carson for Ghost Bed. Do you really want another summer like last summer, barely sleeping because you were too hot all night? People blame summer heat for bad sleep when it really may be their mattress trapping heat. And if you already sleep hot, summer only makes it worse. That's why I switched to Ghost Bed. Helps keep you cool all night, no waking up sweaty, tossing and turning, or throwing the covers off at 2 a.m. Cooling tech is built into every mattress. It's not some expensive upgrade you have to pay extra for. Hot sleepers are some of Ghost Bed's happiest customers. Read the reviews. You get incredible support, less stiffness, deeper sleep, more rested mornings. I got my Ghost Bed about 6 months ago, and it changed my life. Ghost Bed gives you 101 nights to try it at home. You can sleep on it all summer long and feel the difference for yourself. How many more summers are you going to waste on bad sleep? Ghost Bed is currently having their 4th of July sale, offering my audience an extra 10% off. Go to ghostbed.com/Carson. Use the promo code Carson. That's ghostbed.com/Carson, promo code Carson.
I always accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative, latch on to the affirmative. With me, there is no in between. State of the Union scored, approval rate how it has soared. Democrats cannot afford to take me for granted anymore. Inflation's low, employment's high. The Dow Jones, it is headed for the sky. Borders secure, illegals aren't jetting in. That's why I accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative, latch on to the affirmative. With me, there is no in between.
Now back to the Rob Carson Show, presented by Paramount Plus.
Anchors away. Why am I playing this? Well, I am playing this because I just got a text because Representative Andy Ogles from Tennessee's 5th Congressional District has got a plan on this this anchor baby decision by the Supreme Court. First of all, welcome, Representative. So glad to have you on the show today.
Well, thanks for having me on. And you know what? That music should make you feel patriotic, and so should this bill.
All right, so tell us what's going on, because I opened the show with this, and obviously disappointed by this, but I said the Trump administration has gotten beaten by the Supreme Court on things like tariffs, and they had to find a circuitous way to get where we're going. So what is your proposal with regard to a counter on this birthright citizenship decision by the Supreme Court?
Well, you know, our founding fathers warned us about a too powerful judiciary, an all too powerful judiciary, and quite frankly, I would argue that Congress has dropped the ball on this issue of immigration. They've let the door open to this invasion, and so I have a bill. So let's set the stage. You have individuals from foreign countries who literally travel to the United States to have a baby so that they can have U.S. citizenship. And so you have literally tourists that are here for the World Cup. If they happen to have a baby here while they're watching a soccer game or while they were traveling here, suddenly that child can become a U.S. citizen. By the way, it doesn't work that way anywhere else in the world.
No.
It's neither here nor there.
No.
But we have countries who have a much more sinister and deliberate plan.
Of course.
China.
Yes.
You literally have this birth tourism to Guam, where you have Chinese communists, leaders within the Communist Party, the same Communist Party that hates America, the same Communist Party that wants to see America on its knees, and they now have children with U.S. or will be United States citizens. So there's literally someone born today on U.S. Soil that has roots back and loyalty to the Chinese Communist Party, who will one day run for office in this country and may very well try to ascend to the White House. So what my bill does, it simply says, if you're from a foreign nation, you're not a U.S. citizen, you're not a green card holder, you may not enter this country while pregnant. You may not have a baby on U.S. soil. If the Supreme Court isn't going to defend it, it's time for Congress to do so.
I think that's absolutely reasonable. If you are, that makes absolute sense. So, what do you suppose? I mean, this Democrat Party is leaning way left. We see that the Republican Party can't even get a bill passed when 80% of the American people want voter ID. What sort of headwinds do you suppose you'll face, not only from I guess maybe some Republicans, but certainly Democrats on this?
Well, look, I'm not going to liken being a member of Congress to the founding fathers in our nation, but look, they had insurmountable odds, so they were told. They didn't stop fighting. That didn't stop them from pressing forward and fighting for this ideal, this dream that was America. And I have an obligation, just as you have an obligation, and I believe every American has an obligation to fight for that ideal. And just because others don't, just because others have become disillusioned or apathetic doesn't mean that I'm going to stand by and let this happen. And again, our founding fathers warned us about this day, that a judiciary would end up legislating instead of Congress. They warned us that an all-too-powerful judiciary could undermine the Constitution and the laws of this land. And we're seeing it play out today. Sometimes the Supreme Court gets it right. But for far too long, Congress has sat back and watched and crossed its fingers and waited for the Supreme Court to do their job. And I'm not going to stand by any longer.
I'm looking
to continue to fight on these issues.
I'm looking at this bill to amend the Immigration and Nationality Act to clarify the classes of individuals born in the United States who are nationals and citizens of the United States at birth, and to provide for the inadmissibility of certain pregnant aliens seeking admission as non-immigrants primarily to obtain the United States citizenship for a child and for other purposes. How long have you had this in the hopper, and who else have you been talking to this about? You've been talking to Jim Jordan. You've been talking to who else has been kind of hustling around, or did you just kind of come up with this?
Well, so obviously we've been watching the Supreme Court case. If you're a Supreme Court watcher, you had a sense that it wasn't going to go our way.
Yeah.
But I think some may see this as a defeat. I think this should be a wake-up call to Congress to do its freaking job.
Yes.
We've seen other rulings where the Supreme Court has shut the door and said, oh, by the way, we're not going to support this. However, Congress has the authority to do something about it. Mm-hmm. And that's what's happened today. We have the authority to define who is or is not a citizen. And so it's time to do our job. And to your previous question about, you see in the Senate, the Save America Act, which secures our elections, 80% plus support across this country. It matters who leads. John Thune is supposedly leading in the Senate, and the fact that he can't get this bill across the finish line is really a commentary on his leadership or the lack thereof.
Yeah.
And so the American people are issuing and sending a mandate on this very issue. Look, I understand immigration might be controversial. I understand that this one might be a tougher sell. I'm still going to fight that fight.
Yeah.
But 80+% of Americans support the Save America Act. In the Senate, they're too busy naming bridges and going on vacation. They should be up here working long hours, weekends, no vacations, no holidays until they get the Save America bill passed. And then they should be taking up my Assimilation Act, my Remigration Act, and now my Anchors Away bill that fixes this immigration system and protects our country.
I love your thinking, by the way. This week, the big topic of discussion in the Democrat Party is this Democrat Socialist. Same thing happened in Canada, by the way. Same thing's happening all over the world. They call themselves Democrat Socialists. It is a group of communists who are infiltrating parties that generally have Democrat Party ideals, left-leaning ideals. And what they do is they move in, they win elections, and then they purge. This has been going on, by the way, from the left for a century. They purge the leadership of that group. Now, there are some in the Democrat Party right now who I believe foolishly, like Kristen Gillibrand, Robert Garcia, and others, say that we are a big tent. We can allow this. And this, I believe, seals their doom because the Democrat Socialists have no plan on working with them whatsoever. What are your thoughts on this divide in the Democrat Party?
Oh, I mean, I think we saw the elections in New York literally are the canary in the coal mine that the Democratic Party has been hijacked. They're even, I think, going to undermine and eventually replace Hakeem Jeffries, which should say something. I mean, he's about as far left as you can get.
Yeah.
But oh wait, there's more. There's the Socialists. They're never going to be satisfied with individuals who want to uphold the Constitution and the rule of law, regardless of party labels. Their vision is socialism, and quite frankly, the people who defend socialism have no idea what it really means. But if you love socialism, let's see how much you love it when you're standing in line for a loaf of bread.
Yeah.
Because that's what the light at the end of the tunnel is. It's the light where you go stand in line to get your bowl of soup and your loaf of bread. And so I don't think it's going to work for New York. I think Mamdani is going to inflict lots of pain. I think you're going to see wealth flight out of New York to great states like Tennessee,
yes, sir.
like Texas, and
yes,
like
sir.
Florida. And this cycle of poverty is going to increase.
Yeah. Andy Ogles, can you I know you're very busy. Can you hold through the break to the other side of the break? Because I've got a few. Oh, I love it. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate you so much. Representative Andy Ogles, 5th Congressional District, the great state, by the way. Great state of Tennessee. We'll continue on the other side of the break. This is The Rob Carson Show.
In New York, there were 3 candidates for this. These are the primaries. They are going to win the election, so there are going to be 3 Democrats in Congress. These are Mandami's people. These are Democratic Socialists, I think very different than the Democratic Party. What happened is, for years we've been asking young people to vote. Well, now young people are voting, and they're voting to abolish the police, abolish prisons, unlimited immigration, so no cops, no prisons, no borders, proving for sure that eating Tide Pods does cause brain damage. One candidate, she will be a congressperson from New York's 13th district, who the New York Times asked her if someone murders someone randomly, should they go to jail? Couldn't get her to say yes for that. She says no more police ever, at all, ever. She says our veterans are war criminals. She said Kamala Harris, and Joe Biden is a rapist. So there is a woke mind virus, and I think we found patient 0.
Yeah, this all kind of came as a surprise to us that some people like this could actually win. But, Representative Andy Ogles, by the way, from Tennessee's 5th Congressional District, the Democrat Party has been feeding our kids this crap in schools for decades, and now it's biting them in the rear ends. I think it's kind of interesting.
Well, the idea that you're just going to do away with all law enforcement. Prior to President Trump's commitment to making Memphis safe, it was the most violent city in the United States of America.
Yes.
We saw the National Guard come in, restore law and order. The police now have the ability to patrol and the confidence to know that, hey, we got your back. And I've been in Memphis. I've been in Memphis several times over the last few weeks. And time again, we have citizens, primarily minorities, African American, who come up to me and say, I've never voted Republican. I can't say that I ever liked President Trump, but I'm telling you today, thank you, President Trump, for allowing my 9-year-old son or my children to go outside and play. They've got their streets back, right? And so this rainbow and unicorns fairy tale that you can do away with the police is just absolute nonsense. And anyone who espouses that is, again, maybe they're eating Tide Pods on the weekend. I don't know, but they've got brain damage.
Well, I've heard, and you would know more about this, but if you're an avowed communist or if you pledged your allegiance to communism and you are for the overthrow of Western civilization or the United States of America, I've heard people saying that they may not be seated in Congress. I don't know if that's possible. What do you think about that?
Well, to that point, Mom Donnie lied on his N-400. He did not disclose his ties to the Communist Party. So my remigration bill clarifies the rules for denaturalization. And under my bill of remigration, Mom Donnie would be subjected to denaturalization and deportation for not having a true allegiance to this country. You're welcome, New York. You voted. Now we're going to come in and try to save your butts. But this idea that we're allowing people who hate this country to come in, become citizens, run for office, and undermine us at every turn is it's suicidal, is what it is.
Well, we are a representative Republican. It is based on the Constitution of the United States, and you have to swear to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States, which means the country as founded. You cannot change the government into a communist or socialist country because you have people who make it to Congress. That does not work. And so I think we've got a battle in front of us. This isn't going to fly nationally. I know we have a battle in front of us. I know we have to be very alert. We, as I like to say, us MAGA supporters, we are battle hardened, not battle weary. So we will fight this battle. We'll defeat this because whenever this wins in states like New York, people flee it. Whenever it happened in Seattle, all these other, so it's not popular nationally. We shouldn't be, terrified of what's happening in New York, but we have to be girded for battle because we've been trying to put out communism around the world for decades. We're not about to let it rise here.
Not at all. And again, I think this is it should be a wake up call when you look at New York. Like you said, states like Tennessee, selfishly, we've benefited tremendously. Our economy in Tennessee is booming.
I know it is.
Because of that flight wealth, that population wealth from states like California, like Illinois, like New York, like New Jersey, because people are fed up. But who gets left behind are the people that are now going to be victimized by crime. And we can fast forward. You can look at Europe. They're about 10 years ahead of us in this immigration, this migrant invasion curve. And you can look at the crime data in Paris, in London, and in Rome. When you have a migrant population that hates those countries, that represents 10 or 12% of population, yet they're now committing 50% of the sex crimes, you have a problem. And it doesn't matter what country they're from, what their religion is. When you have 10% of the population committing over half of the sex crimes, you should probably wake up and do something about it.
Absolutely. Well, we got to wrap things up. I do want to mention something. I live here in the D.C. area, and whenever I meet somebody, and whenever they're leaving the D.C. area, moving out of Maryland, moving out of Virginia, at least 50% of them I talk to, they say they're going to Tennessee.
Amen, brother. It's a beautiful state.
I'm telling you, seriously, you're expecting Texas, Florida, and all that, but a lot of people love in Tennessee, and it is a beautiful state. I'm from the Midwest, kind of Missouri, Arkansas, the really rich areas out there, lots of forestry, lots of lakes and whatnot. In Tennessee, without the income tax, oh my goodness, might have to consider getting myself a place down there.
Well, it is the land of the free, and we love our country. And if you don't love this country, don't move to Tennessee. God bless you.
Hey, I appreciate you being on the show today, and I wish you a very blessed July the 4th. And I appreciate you taking the time today, Representative. Thank you.
Yes, sir, and God bless.
All right, let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show. Hi, kids. Busy day. Woo, it's been chaotic. Got a lot of balls in the air, people. A lot of balls in the air. Okay, Greta 100, I'm getting rid of you. Bye, Greta 100. You're no longer a part of this conversation. Bye, Greta 100. You're a troll. You're no longer welcome here. Bye, Greta. Yay, I got rid of Greta 100. You troll. Bye, troll. Trollison. Hi, Scarecrow. Mountain Jews. I thought this Iranian war was done months ago. LOL. Okay, are you another troll? Am I going to have to do that to you, too? This doesn't fly. Because, see, I'm in control. All right, and I have troll radar. All right, so as soon as I see troll radar in Rumble or Facebook or YouTube, I'm going to end your discussion. I don't have time for your childish nonsense. I have to deal with this crap, in person in Washington, D.C. I'm not going to have it in the chat here. All right, there you go. Not going to have it in my chat on my show, thank you. Hello, Blockbuster 2K, what up? How are you? Who else we got here? Adrian Bruck, Supreme Court says everyone can cheat in elections. Come on, Republicans, let's start cheating. Yeah, kind of makes you wonder. We don't like to lower ourselves to their standards. That's the issue. We like to win fair and square. Whether or not that's a good thing, I'm not sure. But anyway. Yeah, hold on. Here we go. I got to talk, sorry. Okay. It is the Rob Carson Show. That's Rage Against the Machine. Words to live by. Rage Against the Machine, the political machine, the Democrat Party. Even old James Carville says that the Democrat Socialists are a bridge too far.
I don't have anything in common with Ms. Chevalier, and I really don't want to be in the same party she's in. I just can't see how she can be part of the same coalition that we all part of. And I understand that, in a coalition, you have to have a lot of slack in your line because not everybody's going to agree with me. But this is just, as they would say, this is a bridge too far.
Now, next hour, I'm going to get into the real difference with the Democrat Socialists of America, and that is anti-Semitism. We all know what happened to Germany in 1933. History repeats itself, particularly if you are ignorant of it, and we have an entire generation of kids who are. They promoted Hamas, denied October the 7th, the day after it happened. I knew we were in trouble when that happened. But we're going to win because we are better armed intellectually and physically. Yeah. We wouldn't be celebrating America 250 if it wasn't for a strong foundation set by the framers. Hamilton built America's financial foundation on the principle of sound, stable money, a principle later embodied by the gold standard. However, we abandoned that discipline in 1971 and have since seen inflation erode the dollar's value. Price of a house is twice as much as it was 6 years ago, for goodness sake. What is the foundation of your savings? Is it gold, or is it something that can be shaken, disrupted, and devalued? Birch Gold has been helping Americans solidify their savings with gold for the last 15 years. They'll help you convert an existing IRA or 401k into a tax-sheltered IRA in gold. They did it for me because I knew that I needed to make this money work. And I knew I was going to sit on this money that I invested in precious metals for at least 10 years. That's what I did. Because in the last 10 years, gold went from $1,200 an ounce to where it is now, in the in the area of $4,000 to $5,000 an ounce. So I'm waiting. Learn how gold fits into your portfolio by texting my name, Rob, to the number 989898. You'll receive a free, no-obligation info kit with an A-plus rating from the BBB and countless 5-star reviews, including one from this guy right here. Let Birch Gold build your foundation with gold. Text my name, Rob, to the number 989898. Text Rob to 989898. One of the biggest leftists in the Democrat Party, Scott Wiener, who apparently is like the heir apparent to Nancy Pelosi's seat, and I want nothing to do with Nancy Pelosi's seat. He is getting eaten alive by the radical LGBTQIA+. Do you know why? Because he's Jewish. Yeah, it's true. It's true. It's happening. I'm going to explain all of this in the second hour of the Rob Carson Show. Doug Burns joins us next to talk about birthright citizenship, decision by the Supreme Court. Don't go anywhere.
The Rob Carson Show is presented by Paramount Plus. The Rob Carson Show is presented by Paramount Plus.
The Agency. All episodes now streaming on Paramount Plus. In a world of espionage, truth is a moving target and every decision carries a dangerous consequence. This new mission explores what it means to live as a double agent, twice the lies, twice the risk. The lines between ally and enemy blur like never before, and survival depends on trusting no one. Starring Michael Fassbender, Jeffrey Wright, Jodie Turner-Smith, and Richard Gere. Don't miss The Agency. All episodes now streaming on Paramount Plus.
Hold it now. You are about to hear the most interesting, informative, thought-provoking, and funny show in America. On air and on the World Wide Web. This is the Rob Carson Show.
Progressivism seeks to replace the basic premises of the Declaration of Independence, and hence our form of government. It holds that our rights and our dignities come not from God, but from government. It requires of the people a subservience and weakness incompatible with a constitution premised on the transcendent origin of our rights.
Yeah, that is Clarence Thomas talking about the Constitution, the challenges that we face, and there are many challenges to be faced, and someone is going to help us put in perspective a couple of Supreme Court rulings we've expected for the last couple of months. Doug Burns Law on X. Doug, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for coming on. I know you're in high demand right now working for Newsmax.
No, I appreciate it, and it's always great to be on with you.
Yeah, okay, so the 5-4 vote to reject Trump's birthright citizenship ban kind of put this in perspective. I'm trying not to be fatalistic about it because Donald Trump has also gone around rulings by the Supreme Court on tariffs and other things. Tell us what you think about this decision and what we can do about it.
Well, I'm disappointed in the decision. I thought, Chief Justice Roberts and Amy Coney Barrett, I was a little surprised at the tack they took. But it's also, believe it or not, a very important, instructive moment to point out that you and I are not going to immediately become sore-losing babies, call the court illegitimate, okay?
Yeah.
Say that we need to add 10 seats to the court now because of this. And, of course, I'm mocking them because on the left they are sore-losing babies. So not to be corny, as a lawyer, I respect the opinion. I'm going to study it a lot more.
Yeah.
I disagree with it respectfully. I think it ignores a lot of historical material, which indicates that you have to show some type of allegiance to the United States if you're going to be a citizen. But let me tell your audience something very, very interesting, and that is that you and I had discussed the idea that the court might turn around and say, the executive order is invalid because the executive branch can't do that, but Congress can do it.
Yes.
And that's exactly what Justice Kavanaugh wrote. So, I agree with Justice Kavanaugh's opinion 100%. I'm going to study it a little bit more. But he joined in the outcome, but would not have reached the constitutional level. And that's extremely important because had the entire court done that, Rob, then you could have had Congress sometime down the road, whatever, despite, the cynicism about how they never do anything and all that. They could have amended the law, as we had discussed, to say that if you're born as the offspring of two people who violated the law, you're not a citizen. But this opinion goes way further, takes it to a constitutional level. And the bottom line is that people born here are going to be U.S. citizens. And, again, not being sore losers, we accept it. It is, that's what we do.
Let me read from Andy Ogles' proposal to amend the Inauguration and Nationality Act to clarify the classes of individuals born in the United States who are nationals and citizens of the United States at birth, and to provide for the inadmissibility of certain pregnant aliens seeking submission as non-immigrants, primarily to obtain United States citizenship for a child and for other purposes. How enforceable do you suppose that is to say that illegals cannot come here and give birth? I mean, how could you possibly come up with a legislative solution to this? I know that's very loose. It's very...
No. Unfortunately, I have to be the bearer of bad news. And again, just to repeat the concept, since they went to the constitutional level, And they specifically said that, the language in the 14th Amendment means the only remedy now is to amend the Constitution. And that's not impossible, by the way. It's happened before. I know, it's been a long time and all of that. And again, I'm not suggesting that this necessarily is at that level, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, Donald John Trump, he came in, he wisely identified an issue that needed reform. But again, he ran into a buzzsaw. 5-4, which just shows you it could have gone either way, obviously.
So you're saying
Coney Barrett.
You're saying there's not a
Coney Barrett's go ahead.
No, you finish, dude.
No, Amy Coney Barrett is the new David Souter. Okay?
I know.
David Souter, and I know this inside baseball because I know some people who were working in the circles of the process of Souter's selection. And John Sununu, the then, I guess, governor of New Hampshire. And New Hampshire was a big deal because that really apparently made George Bush Sr., got him moving. So he was close with John Sununu, turned to him for the Supreme Court appointment. Sununu assured Bush Sr. up and down he's a rock-solid conservative, and he turned out not to be, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with it. But the point is, Amy Coney Barrett now is the same way.
Yeah, she is. So you're saying there's no legislative solution to this? It would require...
I don't think so, Rob. I think that it was funny because I was discussing this earlier in the day, not surprisingly, on a segment, and the bottom line is that, again, when they go to that, that's why Justice Kavanaugh was really brilliant on this, because he said, hey, the executive order may violate the statute, but I wouldn't go to a constitutional level, and by the way, Congress can change and fix this, but the majority did not go that route.
All right, the Supreme Court handed a victory to conservatives and purveyors of common sense, ruling that states can ban biological boys who believe they are girls from competing in women's sports in publicly funded schools. This doesn't ensure this can happen. States can choose to do this. But does this give the federal government superseding authority when schools are publicly funded?
Yeah, to some extent, absolutely. And the point is, this was a very important common sense ruling. Everybody handicapped it correctly, which I have to look at the opinion and the breakdown of the justices. I in all the excitement over the birthright case, I haven't had a chance to do that, and I'll study it more. But again, you don't have to be a physician, you don't have to be a member of Mensa or a rocket scientist to know that there are biological tremendous advantages when a male transitions to female and then competes against females in sports. So it's tremendous, just common sense and logic. You're asking a very good question, which is a little more technical, obviously, and that is that, now that it's thrown back to the states, could each individual state ostensibly do it? But again, I don't think you'll see that much of that.
Yeah, well, I would assume that the federal government could say, then we will cut off your dollars for public education funding. We're getting rid of the Department of Education.
Yep.
I don't know.
That's the exact point, which is that while technically or hyper-technically, a state is free to do this or that, the point is, if federal support's on the line, they may not. But again, this was a very interesting thing for me to discuss with you time and time again about how people would die on the hill of an 80-20 or a 90-10 issue, but they just kept doing it.
Yeah, and what's remarkable is that we're at this point in our history that we have a woman on the Supreme Court who could not say that a woman is an adult female, for God's sake. And that we even have to debate this when we know that there are no biologically born women in the NBA, the NFL, the MLB, the NHL, any of this. It has become nothing more than an ability for men without shame who cannot compete in their own level to win by beating women. And fortunately, for decades, the Democrat Party said there's no difference between men and women. Maybe we could start moving toward common sense again on this issue.
That is an outstanding summation, but I have to correct you.
What?
Because some candidate in Texas taught me that there are actually 6 genders. I don't know if you knew that. Does he even name what those are, by the way?
No clue. No clue whatsoever. I swear to God. Well, fortunately, he is behind in the race to Ken Paxton, and then this guy in Maine. Tallarico, dear God in heaven. And then this Graham Plattner, it looks like Susan Collins is way ahead of where she was the last time she beat a Democrat. So I don't think this stuff's going to fly. Real quick, Doug, what do you think about this rise of, and I know we mentioned this rise of Democrat socialism? I just talked to Andy Ogles from Tennessee about the possibility of not seating people who do not swear allegiance to the Constitution of the United States of America. Your thoughts on this rise, real quick. I know you've talked about it before.
Yeah, I separate it out into two things, which is from a logic standpoint, how in the world are these people viable? It doesn't make sense. And that's like way over my pay grade in terms of political stuff, getting them voting out, getting the funding and the money in there and all of that. And then your point, which is not seating them. I said on your show recently, the other day, absolutely there's an argument to say if somebody cannot raise their hand and take the legitimate oath, you have to seriously consider not seating them. Right?
Now, let me ask you this also real quick. The DOJ is going after Neville Singham for funding all of these NGOs that elect Democrats. Do you suppose that's going to go somewhere? Because he and George Soros have done an enormous amount of damage in this country, and they should not hold such political sway in our country.
Yeah, it's a tricky legal question, but off the top of my head, it could implicate, definitely some kind of campaign finance violations. That would be the road to go down. Right. Yeah.
Well, I appreciate your time today, man. I know you're getting pulled in a dozen different directions, but I do appreciate you.
Head back to Newsmax. I'm doing another hit.
Of course you do. All right, brother. I'll talk to you soon. Let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show.
99.9 FM in Harford County.
No, lovely.
So you preferred your pronouns to be they and them. They, them. Okay. So, do you need me to explain how to use that? Nope, because I'm not going to.
There you go. The great Caitlin Bennett. Here is Jesse Waters talking about what's going to happen in the Democrat Party, even though idiots like Adam Schiff are saying, oh, no, we've got a big tent. We can have these Democrat socialists.
But they screwed up, and the country's now pissed. The party's pissed because what they do, they did nothing. They made life more expensive and just focused on Mexicans and Ukrainians. And that let the communists creep in. They have been denying they've been communists for decades. No, we're not communists. We love America. We're for strong borders. We love the police. All of a sudden, the communists start winning, and they're like, big tent, come on in.
Yeah.
What did we hear after Kamala lost? They were going to have to start going to football games.
Yeah.
They were going to stop talking about trans.
Yeah.
You know, they were going to fund the police, not defund the police.
They had to farm for oysters.
That's right. All right? We're working class. And now the commies start winning, and they're like, Viva la revolution! That was fast. All of a sudden. So they actually, the Democrats have more in common with communism than the Republicans have in common with fascism. And they think they can cobble some winning coalition together. Communists are going to steal the Democrat banner to get on the ballot.
Yes.
They're going to win.
Yes.
And then here comes the purge.
You know why I know that this is going to happen? Because it's happened throughout history when the left moves in and takes over a party. And then nothing good happens after it. So we've got to come together to kick their butts completely. This is Adam Schiff. He's an awful human being, a corrupt individual, despicable individual, talking about this Chevalier woman in New York who's never had a job, who's been in college for 12 years and wants to get rid of the police, wants to get rid of prisons, wants to get rid of the border, and wants to seize production, okay? She wants to take over industry. All of these things are not going to happen because she's an ignorant child. But here is Adam Schiff saying, oh, she might be welcome in their party.
She has sympathetic references to communism, talks about a Marxist ideology, talks about seizing the means of production, abolish police, prisons, and borders, wiping her hands on a U.S. flag. She now says, quote,
anyone who's ever had those ideas, anyone who has ever agreed with those ideas should never hold political office because you're an ignoramus and you're a fool.
I have grown considerably in the years since these tweets, and I'm focused on our community and our community's future, which is not exactly disowning the comments. What do you make of these comments and the fact that this is a growing brand of the Democratic Party?
Well, I wouldn't say that those comments are reflective of a growing brand in the party. I understand that she's advocated closing all prisons, defunding police departments, opening borders. None of those views are within the mainstream of the Democratic Party.
Really? Really? Let me refresh your memory about where the Democrat Party was with the police 6 years ago.
So we've been talking about defunding the police.
There's some issues that we ask police to do, like mental health issues or policing in schools and all the rest, that perhaps we can shuffle some of that money around.
Suck it up. Defunding the police has to happen. We need to defund the police.
Mayor Eric Garcetti saying, take some of the money from policing, about $150 million.
I applaud Eric Garcetti for doing what he's done.
Funding isn't necessarily as aggressive as a lot of folks paint it. You know, school budgets get cut almost every year.
Not only do we need to disinvest in police, but we need to completely dismantle the Minneapolis Police Department.
There you go. Yeah, the Democrat Party was completely down with it, Adam Schiff. You fool. You've created a monster. The Democrat Party has created a monster. You fed this pablum to generations of students in elementary school, and then all the way through college. And now they are Marxists. Now they are Marxist revolutionaries. And they're using the Democrat Party to take power and get rid of you. It's been done before, but of course you're ignorant of history as well. Here is AOC on the insanity of Chevalier.
But does any of that give you pause?
I genuinely believe that the gravity and the responsibility
of this role.
Okay, I want you. You know that Kamala Harris is an idiot. You know that she delivers word salads that are just unbelievably, almost unapproachable until now. Okay? I want you to listen to this. This is a masterpiece in nonsense. This should be hanging on the Louvre of stupidity, and people should come and see it.
Has a way of inhabiting you. And I genuinely believe that we have to give people the opportunity to occupy their beliefs within the gravity of becoming a duly elected member of Congress.
Translation, the commies will grow up once they're sworn in.
I think I got to hear that again. It's so stupid.
The gravity and the responsibility of this role has a way of inhabiting you. And I genuinely believe that we have to give people the opportunity to occupy their beliefs within the gravity of becoming a duly elected member of Congress.
I swear to God in heaven. I have an expression called "don't catch so stupid." She has a terminal case of it. I think we need a song about how to come together and save America from these morons.
Homeboys, hillbillies, and Hebrews are Rod Carson's friends.
We're going to beat them.
Better believe that they'll be friends to the end. Willie! A new coalition to promote freedom. They're all about liberty.
Patriotic Americans.
The perfect trio to combat the left and look out for you and me.
Hell yeah! Come on!
Mamas, please let your babies grow up to be homeboys.
Why the heck not?
Hillbillies and Hebrews is who you should raise. You'll receive nothing but absolute praise. Homeboys, hillbillies, and Hebrews are saving this country. They love this land and they'll give you a hand. We need to give them our thanks. Homeboys, hillbillies, and Hebrews are friends to this nation. They've got our back when we're under attack. Homeboys, hillbillies, Hebrews.
Yeah, there you go. Overwhelm the left with patriotism and joy and faith. I'll handle the mockery, ridicule, and satire. And if we have to, we'll have to come together and kick their rear ends. Okay? Yeah. Because we're not about to surrender our country to a bunch of Marxists and communists. Because we are ruled by by God. Our rights come from God. We have a constitution, and we are going to remain under that constitution. And we are not. You can try to take over the country, but you will be beaten into hell. The Democrat Party is divided. They're the ones in the Civil War, but we, of course, need to stay positive, patriotic, and powerful. There you go. Coming up, Gordon Chang's going to be joining us to talk about China and Ukraine and a whole bunch of other stuff. So if I were you, I wouldn't go anywhere.
The Rob Carson Show is presented by Paramount Plus.
The Agency. All episodes now streaming on Paramount Plus. In a world of espionage, truth is a moving target, and every decision carries a dangerous consequence. This new mission explores what it means to live as a double agent, twice the lies, twice the risk. The lines between ally and enemy blur like never before, and survival depends on trusting no one. Starring Michael Fassbender, Jeffrey Wright, Jodie Turner-Smith, and Richard Gere. Don't miss The Agency. All episodes now streaming on Paramount Plus.
Deported. 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 Get them out. Ready? Are you ready? Get them out of here. Get them out of here. Get the hell out of here. Deported. 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 Get them out. Ready? Are you ready? Get them out of here. Get them out of here. Get the hell out of here.
Hey guys, it's Carson for Ghost Bed. Do you really want another summer like last summer, barely sleeping because you were too hot all night? People blame summer heat for bad sleep when it really may be their mattress trapping heat. And if you already sleep hot, summer only makes it worse. That's why I switched to Ghost Bed. Helps keep you cool all night, no waking up sweaty, tossing and turning, or throwing the covers off at 2 a.m. Cooling tech is built into every mattress. It's not some expensive upgrade you have to pay extra for. Hot sleepers are some of Ghost Bed's happiest customers. Read the reviews. You get incredible support, less stiffness, deeper sleep, more rested mornings. I got my Ghost Bed about 6 months ago, and it changed my life. Ghost Bed gives you 101 nights to try it at home. You can sleep on it all summer long and feel the difference for yourself. How many more summers are you going to waste on bad sleep? Ghost Bed is currently having their 4th of July sale, offering my audience an extra 10% off. Go to ghostbed.com/Carson. Use the promo code Carson. That's ghostbed.com/Carson, promo code Carson.
Now we have another one coming up, which is birthright citizenship. And we're the only country in the world that has it. You step into our country and you're all of a sudden a citizen. You come in a certain way. This was not meant for Chinese billionaires to have their children become citizens of our country.
That's news from the Supreme Court, a 5-4 decision, basically agreeing with birthright citizenship, a ruling that makes absolutely zero sense whatsoever. And malign actors like the communist Chinese are actually doing birth tourism, giving birth on American soil, then bringing their children back to China to be raised as faithful communists, and then they can move later into the United States of America as citizens and run for office, among other things. Joining us to talk about this and much more is China relations expert, the author of the Coming Collapse of China, Plan Red, China's Project to Destroy America, which looks like it took a step forward. Gordon Chang on Twitter at Gordon G. Chang. How are you today, sir?
I'm fine, Rob, and thank you so much.
So obviously the Chinese, the Communist Chinese Party has been able to use birthright citizenship to and as President Trump said there, Chinese billionaires and others to be able to essentially make babies, have baby making factories for eventual U.S. citizens. Obviously, this is a boost for them.
Oh, yes, it is. But, there's a simpler thing than amending the Constitution or, Supreme Court decision. The thing is, we just need to prevent these Chinese nationals from coming into our country and obviously abusing our laws. And This is not just birthright citizenship, it's everything else. So it's within our power. This is our country. We don't have to let these people in. We don't have to let them stay. There's all sorts of other solutions for this. The Supreme Court has spoken. If President Trump wants to amend the Constitution, he can try that process. But a better thing for him is just to simply enforce our laws. And his administration, like the previous one, like the previous one, like the previous one, like the previous one, has done a pretty damn poor job of protecting ourselves from the Chinese communists.
Yeah, I think I'm looking at it kind of as, the Supreme Court also ruled against Donald Trump with regard to tariffs, and he was able to do an end run about this, send it back to Congress to do something about it. And so I like your way of thinking. I was talking to Doug Burns earlier about it. He felt like the only way to do this was to amend the Constitution. I don't think that is the case. I think it is doubling down on enforcement of immigration, becoming much more studious with regard to those coming in from countries like China who are not in our best, who do not have our best interest in mind.
Yeah, I think that Learning Resources' decision of last February, which struck down President Trump's tariffs, was wrong. But nonetheless, there are other ways to reimpose those tariffs, such as the Section 301 tariffs, which they will reimpose pretty soon. Yeah. So there are all sorts of ways and tools that President Trump has on those tariffs, and I'm glad he's now putting those tariffs back in place.
Yeah. I wanted to mention something because he does live in China. The DOJ has launched a grand jury probe into Neville Roy Singham's funding of leftist terrorist groups. Federal grand jury investigating alleged financial crimes by him. China-based tech tycoon whose fortune has funded a sprawling network of socialist, communist, and Marxist organizations across the U.S. the last decade. He pumped $285 million from his base in Shanghai into Goldman Sachs philanthropy fund and to two shell corporations that then fed the money into a constellation of nonprofit organizations. Do you suppose this, if they're able to find some wrongdoing here and charge him, this could be a pretty big blow to the efforts of the Chinese communists to influence American elections?
Yes. Singham clearly has violated a number of laws, especially the one on Foreign Agents Registration Act, FARA. But he has clearly worked with the Communist Party's United Front Work Department. He needed to register with the Justice Department. He had failed to do that. And I'm confident that a grand jury will bring back indictments, and I'm confident that a jury will convict him. The only thing, of course, is that Singham is in Shanghai, and he's beyond the reach of American justice.
So do you suppose there's not a chance of extradition with regard to that, but do you suppose that Donald Trump could maybe exercise some sort of economic pressure on China to have them send him here?
Well, yeah, there is no extradition treaty, and clearly China wants to keep him. I don't think that there is the pressure we can put on them.
Got it.
But the thing is, I mean, maybe if Trump were to do, all sorts of things like let the Chinese own our country, then yeah, maybe they might give Singham up, but the price would be too high.
But what about
a way to deal with
Go ahead, sorry.
There's a way to deal with Singham, short of actually bringing him into the United States, and that is you go after his agents in the U.S., which, by the way, includes his wife, Jody Evans, the co-founder of Code Pink.
Yes.
So we can put a lot of pressure on him through his agents.
Yeah, and also you can get Scott Bessent involved and go after his banking and his ability to do business with these entities, right?
Oh, well, we can confiscate the money for sure.
Yeah, I love
That's an easy thing to do.
But
Singham probably doesn't care because he's an ideologue.
Yeah.
And the Chinese will, give him more money. But one way or another, we'll make life difficult for him and for the people he works with.
Yeah. Let's talk real quick about Ukraine and Russia, I guess, threatening to use nukes. What do you know about this, bro?
Oh, well, this is fascinating. From before the war started in February 2022, Putin was threatening to use nuclear weapons, and almost every month since then, there have been these threats. Now, Putin hasn't done it, but the thing is, he must now be getting desperate because his war effort is collapsing, and people are now starting talking about how the Russians' elites are going to execute him. So we have to be concerned that he might actually use these weapons at some point.
Wow.
Now, this is up to President Trump to make it very clear to Putin and to the Russian elite what happens if they do that. But this is getting real.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's gone on far too long. Gordon Chang, I appreciate you finding the time for us today. You are on X at Gordon G. Chang, X at Gordon G. Chang. Thanks for talking to us today, Gordon.
Oh, well, thank you so much, Rob, and stay safe.
Absolutely.
It's getting a little dangerous out there.
I know it is, brother. Let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show. It is a Rob Carson show. A lot of stuff on the plate today. Supreme Court decisions and whatnot, and I'm refusing to get too down on the mouth about things. There's always a solution. You got to search for the solution. So, all of this is going to work out. The most important thing is to overwhelm the left with joy and patriotism. Scott Wiener is a radical leftist San Francisco Democrat. A really good friend of Nancy Pelosi, and he was out at one of these. The LGBTQIA plus movement, by the way, has been hijacked by the left, and has, like the Democratic Socialists of America, gone very much into anti-Semitism. This is very, very alarming. I noticed this the day after October the 7th, when there were protests against Israel, despite all of the murder. And I can't get into the details of all of the things that were done by the Hamas murderers, but baking babies in ovens, standing in line to rape a woman, and the last guy to rape her, shooting her in the back of the head. And it gets worse. It gets much worse. And that people would bed down with this. I knew it could not be organic. It could not be from America. But here is Scott Wiener. He is Jewish, by the way, and he was out at one of these gay pride, LGBTQI, trans, whatever the hell, pride events in San Francisco, and he was heckled and harassed.
Democrat politicians used to go to pride parades and be treated like Eisenhower after D-Day. Of all the events Democrats do all year, they get the most love at a pride parade. They're grand marshals.
Yeah.
But now in San Francisco, Pelosi's heir apparent, Scott Wiener, got surrounded by hostile commies.
You've been terrible on Gaza. Hates you. You do not belong here anymore, Scott, and it breaks my heart. I want to support someone who's so positive on trans rights, but you're a piece of on Gaza.
You stepped on the moment you started supporting Israel, you piece of
There is no one to the left of Wiener. No one. He decriminalized transmitting AIDS.
Yeah.
He's pro-sex offender. Trans surgeries for kids. Abolish ICE. Wiener's all in. But he's Jewish. And now they're treating him like Jesse Helms. If you don't chant from the river to the sea, it is open season.
Yeah, and Scott Wiener says nobody from the Democrat Party has reached out to him since this.
I know we're a little tight on time, but you mentioned other elected officials. I'm curious, in the wake of this, have you heard from any Democratic leadership? Have you heard, for example, from Nancy Pelosi or from your challenger, Kai Chan?
I have not heard from Nancy Pelosi or from Kai Chan.
Yeah, because his name is now poison. Because the Democrat Socialists of America are in charge.
Gentlemen, let us not allow anger to rule the day. As your spiritual leader, I implore you to pay heed to this good book and what it has to say. Son, you're on your own.
Yeah, you're on your own, kid. You're on your own. Once the Democrat Socialists target you, the Democrat Party considers you to be kryptonite. Here he is now capitulating to the radical left. Okay, this is a Jewish man capitulating and basically throwing Israel under the bus.
For those of you who saw the debate clip from last week, I want to clarify that I do believe Israel has committed genocide in Gaza, and I want to explain why I hesitated at the debate. For the past 2 years, I have harshly opposed Israel's escalations in Gaza, and I've used phrases like total destruction and catastrophic levels.
Yes, but you haven't said from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. You haven't called for the elimination of Israel. That's not far enough, you see. What you're doing is not far enough. This is kind of interesting. Batya Ungar-Sargon had this Brad Lander on. Brad Lander was one of the Democrats who won in New York City. He just happens to be Jewish, by the way. And Batya was asked about Zohran Mamdani's wife. Because Zohran Mamdani's wife was perfectly fine with the other two Democrats who are very anti-Israel, very, very pro-Marxism and communism, getting rid of the police, open borders and all of that. But here's old Lander over here, and Zohran Mamdani's wife didn't endorse him. I wonder why that was.
Mrs. Mamdani posted a photo of herself on Election Day in which she told people to go out and vote and mentioned 2 of the 3 candidates who her husband had endorsed. Your name was left off. Why?
I mean, look, I was proud to have the mayor's support in this race. I was proud to cross-endorse him a year ago. You'll have to, I can't speak for her.
Well, his wife's a radical Islamist.
Politics?
Why do
They
you
don't like the Jews much.
think she left you off?
I mean, look, I guess I'll say something a little different. If I think of myself as like anyone in Israel, it's standing together. It's this group of Israelis and Palestinians fighting for equal rights. And they just formed a political party. And I am so proud of them. Omdim B'Yachad.
Wow, you talk about just whistling past the frickin' graveyard.
God standing together. They're on the boycott, divestment, and sanctions list. It's part of why I don't participate in BDS. They're fighting for Palestinian human rights and equal rights.
No, they want the elimination of Israel, you moron.
But they do it in a way that not everyone views as, that some people view as normalizing. So, I speak up for my politics. I try to tell you who I'm, what I think.
Until they turn against you, which will inevitably happen. So you've got 2 candidates supported by Zohran Mamdani's wife, and then a Jewish guy over here not. That's weird. Wonder why that is.
One of these things is not like the others. One of these things doesn't belong.
What?
Can you tell which thing is not like the other by the time I finish this song?
Yeah, why wouldn't she support him? What? Oh. There's no working with these people. There's no working with the Democrat Socialists. Those who are anti-Semitic, there's no working with them. Certainly they know there's no working with us. The Democrat Party just hasn't figured out that they're going to be devoured by them. And everybody who just thinks they can capitulate or thinks that they can, I don't really support Israel. You're selling your soul. Because they're never going to endear themselves to you. They will only want you destroyed. That's just the way it is. Let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show. Hi, kids. Who's watching here? I've been so bloody busy today, guys. I apologize. Leslie Lady Hawk, hello. Shelby, I pray for our country. Yeah, 100%. Never stop. Never stop. But I'm optimistic. Because when they expose their flank, what do? We kick their asses. Hello, Squall White, Gail King, Brian Duffy. Brian Duffy, good to see you there. Who's watching over on the Rumbly Woo, Whiskey Foxtrot, you drink it. Wild Bill West. What are you guys doing this weekend? You guys going to be doing barbecue and whatnot? I'm going to go down, hanging out with John Fredericks. He's got a place down near the Capitol. And I think I'm going to go down there. See the fireworks. They're supposed to be the greatest ever. All right, let me see what I'm going to talk about here. Mike Davis. 680 WCBM has been helping Maryland businesses for over 102 years. Yeah, I'll do that next. I'll do a parody. All right. Valentina, what's going on? What are you guys up to? Truth be told, what's going on? Lady Boo, hello. Yeah, the Democrat Party is divided. We're coming together. Here we go.
Here.
traditionally, maybe the American Republican tradition, the conservative tradition was held together by a dislike of the Soviets, a foreign atheist slave state. The modern Democratic coalition is held together by a hatred of the United States, a hatred of Christianity, a hatred of Judeo values. You were talking about the rainbow flag that you see there. That symbol started immediately as a rejection of God's promise of salvation to the people after the flood, and instead embraced it as a symbol of pride. So it's not very surprising that this group and this movement ended up being pulled into just a total hatred of the American experience and Western civilization.
There you go. Many Democrats not expressing American pride ahead of its 250th anniversary, as only 8% consider America the greatest country on earth. Only 8%. The greatest country. 16% said it's among the greatest. Plurality of Democrats, 23%, describe America as worse than average compared to other countries. This is your Democrat Party. And the great thing is they're doing a death spiral into hell. As I told you, they're doing a death spiral into hell. And right now, it's really accelerated because you've got this infection of the Democrat Socialists. And I'm telling you right now, the Democrat Party is freaking the hell out. They are freaking the hell out. They're bankrupt. They have no money whatsoever. They have no way to defend themselves. So there's a Democrat civil war going on. We need to come together. We need to come together with patriotic Americans to save the country. I told you this. 80% of us believed the country was going in the wrong direction. 80% of us could come together to save her. And that's what's going on right now. And the fits and throws of all of this are going to get very weird. And the Democrat Party is going to get increasingly violent, more unhinged. But we need to overwhelm them again with faith, patriotism, and enjoy all of those things. That's what we got to do. There you go. I was going to play a little. Oh yes. Harvard students asked about America and then said, if you don't like it, how about we buy a plane ticket for you?
We're here at Harvard asking students how they feel about America and if they would revoke their citizenship and take a one-way ticket to leave and never return.
So let's start with, what do you think of your country?
It's been getting really crazy.
America has always been a fascist country. It feels almost like a dictatorship in some ways.
And also with the ICE thing, there's so much more going on with America.
Our civil rights were revoked.
I don't know if we'll survive Trump's presidency, man.
You think America is a fascist country?
A lot of people would say that.
Why do you think it's fascist?
A lot of people feel like they cannot exercise their freedom of speech or freedom of religious practice or expression.
If you critique the government, if you speak out, there's a chance the president will tweet about you and attempt to harass you.
You still have these checks and balances and systems, yet people still think it's not a democracy. Why is that?
With our current president, those checks and balances have been violated in some ways. Like, it makes me feel uneasy.
What is the number one thing that you guys would change in your country immediately without even thinking twice about it?
Immigration laws.
Immigration laws. Now, coming up, I'm going to share the other side of that video because those children, and they are children who maybe have gone through puberty, but other than that, their children, they're offered a one-way ticket to go over wherever they want. Wherever they want. We'll find out their reaction since they think America sucks so badly after the top of the hour. Don't go anywhere.
The Rob Carson Show is presented by Paramount Plus. The Rob Carson Show is presented by Paramount Plus.
The Agency. All episodes now streaming on Paramount Plus. In a world of espionage, truth is a moving target and every decision carries a dangerous consequence. This new mission explores what it means to live as a double agent, twice the lies, twice the risk. The lines between ally and enemy blur like never before, and survival depends on trusting no one. Starring Michael Fassbender, Jeffrey Wright, Jodie Turner-Smith, and Richard Gere. Don't miss The Agency. All episodes now streaming on Paramount Plus.
Hold it now. You are about to hear the most interesting, informative, thought-provoking, and funny show in America. On air and on the World Wide Web. This is the Rob Carson Show.
This is the Rob Carson Show. It is already a week of 4th of July. 4th of July is happening on Saturday. And, it's going to be a lot of fun here in Washington, D.C. We're told Donald Trump has said we're going to have the greatest fireworks the city has ever seen. So I'm going to be going down, hanging out with my friend John Fredericks, ladies and gentlemen, John Fredericks Radio Network. He's got a place near the Capitol. It's kind of funny. Like a fool, I thought, maybe I'll get a hotel room with a balcony downtown, and I started looking about a month ago, and for a crap hole, $1,500 a night, and I've never paid that much for a hotel room. So nah, and then it just went up from there. I was like, nah, I don't think so. I don't think I'm going to be doing that. Anytime. I thought about, there's a lot of places you can watch. I've got friends who are going to be down on the National Mall, but they're expecting 1 million people. And I do not do crowds that well. Thought about hooking a little wagon to my bike, riding down to Reagan National, camping out. There's a big soccer field at the end of Reagan National. You can watch the planes fly over. So I think I'm going to just and then go and hang in with John. But I'm going to be taking Friday off, like so many are taking Friday off to enjoy the weekend. I'll be spending time with my daughter, which I'm enjoying thoroughly, by the way, absolutely thoroughly. The media is going nuts for the ruling by the Supreme Court saying that if you were born with a penis, you can't compete with girls in sports. Because you see, it's unfair. It's interesting because for years the left tried to convince us there's no difference between men and women. Remember that? The feminist movement kind of ushered that in. And if anything, after all of this time, we've gained some clarity as to the physical superiority of the male sex to the female sex. It's just the way it is. We're stronger and faster. If you don't believe me, look at the world records for every sport. Okay, maybe if it involves, I don't know, shooting, maybe something like that. Sure, but as far as just sheer physicality, like for instance, I've used this analogy before because I used to be a track and field guy just a little while when I was in junior high and high school. Shot put discus. If you look at the world record for distance for the shot put is a ball of metal that you hurl through the air. The distances are almost identical, and you're thinking, aha, men and women are equal, blah, blah, blah. No, the men's shot put weighs 16 pounds, and the woman's weighs 8. The 8-pound shot put is what I shot in 8th grade, and then I went to the 16-pound shot when I was in high school. Women on the International Olympic competitive field, they throw an 8-pound shot. So that's just the way. But here is the reaction from the left.
Just a quick note here. The terms that we're using here during our reporting, biological male, biological female, the High Court put those terms in quotations in their decision and their dissent. But just so you know, we're using those terms from the decision itself, biological male, biological female.
Yeah, they're afraid that's going to be triggering to people, that you would say biological male, biological female. A couple of years ago, if you're just tuning in for the very first time, Jim Gossett and I were way out in front on all of this nonsense, and we started making fun of it. Even when we were censored, we were absolutely censored. And this is one of the original. This is ground zero for men competing in women's sports. About a swimmer in Pennsylvania. On the Rob Carson Show.
I am woman, not a man, despite this new transgender ban. Though my voice is deep and I've got facial hair.
Yeah, it doesn't mean he's a man.
They ban me, but I'll be back. Bravery I do not lack.
Yeah.
You don't have to tell me to grow a pair.
Oh, you've already got him. Okay.
Oh yes, I'm a girl. Against women I compete.
Yeah.
People wanna hurl when I win another meet. Swimming medals, I will steal all of them.
Steal all of them.
I have a beard. I've got testicles. I am woman.
Yeah, this is how insane it got. Let's leave it behind.
Venus says that I can't swim. They claim that I am a him. But I'll be back. Just you wait and see.
Not anymore.
Oh, yes, I'm a she. I even wear a dress, though it's no mystery. The whole package I possess.
Oh, hello.
But they banned me from everything.
From everything.
I have a brawn. I have a prostate gland. Woman.
Yeah. It's all been an obscene and absurd spectacle. It's always been that. I like to call the this men in women's locker rooms saying that they're women psychosexual assault. I've said that from the very beginning. This is psychosexual assault, and that we have allowed such things in this country. And I liken it also to what is happening in radical Islamist countries, where they cover up women's sexuality. For instance, chest binders, which are used in transgenderizing children. Female circumcision, which is used in transgenderizing a woman into a man. Making a phallus out of a sheath of his or her skin from her arm or leg, and then dangling it between her legs, held by a blood supply like you would an ear waiting for transplant. It really is so thoroughly disgusting, and I'm hoping this will be the beginning of the end of all of that. It was a massive, massive psyop, very destructive and very awful. I had mentioned earlier there's this TikTok account that decided to go to Harvard and ask Harvard students what they think of America. And as usual, because they've been brainwashed, and now we're seeing it in candidates running for office, they've been brainwashed into hating America, thinking communism is great because they haven't been educated about all the murder that it caused and all the death and starvation that it caused. That said, back to this, they've asked all these kids, they all agree that the worst problem in America is we don't have enough immigration, and America sucks.
Want to expand on that?
I just think it's really inhumane what is going on right now in this world. This is stolen land already, and if you're going to make arguments about people that are...
Yeah, we're on stolen land.
Are
okay,
allowed
sure.
to be here, I don't think it holds any value, and I think...
You think it's a stolen land?
I think that...
When you go back home and you stay over the summer with your mom and dad in your old bedroom where your trophies are still hanging there for attendance, do you ever say, Mom, Dad, you're living on stolen land. You ought to give it back to the Cherokee.
The first thing I would do is remove ourselves from foreign conflicts. Even if one dictator is bad, we're hearing one side of the story.
I think the United States has broken international law, undermining the sovereignty of places like Iran and Venezuela.
Do you think the situation is that bad that people would be interested in revoking their citizenship and moving?
Yeah.
Okay, so now let's go ahead and take this a little bit further, because they're talking about people would revoke their citizenship because America's so terrible. So how about give them the opportunity to do that?
Yeah.
Is it safe to say you hate America and aren't proud to be a citizen?
Yeah. Yes, of course.
I mean, yeah.
Is there any country you would rather live?
Copenhagen and
Copenhagen.
I would go to Ireland.
New Zealand.
If we gave you one-way ticket, would you take to leave America and to move to New Zealand? To Ireland, Belfast, I think?
He's offering one-way tickets to these countries. I mean, for real, going to pay for it.
Completely move out of the country? Not coming back.
Oh.
I did just get into Harvard.
That's a really hard question.
I just got into Harvard. I can't let's move right now, even though America's terrible.
No, I think by the end of the day, we're still stuck in this together.
I have obligations.
All right,
I got
awesome.
family here. I got school here.
All right, fine, we'll take that as a no.
Practically, I think it would probably be a poor idea.
Like, there is still, like, a lot of good opportunities in America.
Born and raised in America.
What?
My whole family's here, my whole life is here. This has been home, this is opportunity. I'll never be able to take that away from,
What?
the place that I was born in.
When given a real chance to leave, no one takes it. It's easy to criticize a system you benefit from, but when that system is taken away, the reality becomes a little more complicated.
Yeah, because they're spoiled little children who have no life experience, and now they're getting elected in places like New York. This is a little montage the White House put together of people coming to the United States of America from the countries these idiots just said they'd rather live in, and they all would like to stay in America.
I really hope people don't take this for granted, because America is safe, America is clean, America is friendly. Man, this is such an awesome place. God bless America.
If you want to hate the US, listen to the media. If you want to love the US, just drive across it.
We haven't got one of those anymore.
Oh my god, guys, we're gonna go into Target for the first time ever. Thanks so much.
You're welcome.
I'm in paradise.
This is one of the best things I've ever had in my life. Everything is so big. The food is great here.
This thing is lovely. It's stunning.
Vive l'Amérique. This place is incroyable. C'est incroyable.
I cannot speak English, but I'm excited!
Americans, your country is so beautiful.
If I never ever come to the USA, I would have never seen what actually goes on in America. But I actually really love it here. People are just too nice. What is going on?
Yeah. You know, I don't care if Democrats are not proud of our country. I am, and I personally, in my life, have had relatives who've served in the military and have fought for America for what we believe in. And we patriotic, founding principled Americans are not going to let it go the way of Democrat socialism. We're not. We're not. This is another battle in a list of battles that we've taken on the last 250 years. And as far as I'm concerned, the Democrat Party can continue its death spiral into hell while we celebrate the 250th anniversary of the country we know is the greatest engine of individual and economic freedom in the history of mankind. There you go. I'm just going to drop this mic here real quick and take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show. Hey guys, it's Rob Carson with another great team.
Did you really drop them?
one of your favorite rejoins?
Yay! Is it I'm a man or...
The media and our friends in the Democrat Party kept saying we needed new legislation. We must have legislation to secure the border. But it turned out that all we really needed was a new president.
Boom. 100%. Jill Biden's memoir, disappearing from the New York Times bestseller list after debuting at the top, raises very serious questions about sales numbers. Her memoir had a brief run atop the New York Times bestseller list before tumbling out of the rankings just weeks later, fueling online speculation that its lofty debut owed more to bulk book orders than to sustained reader demand. Nobody gives a rat's behind about Jill Biden. She was America's former first ditz. She's not a likable individual. She's not America's grandma, anything like that, like Barbara Bush was. She's not a likable person. She's a mousy dimwit. And View from the West Wing, a memoir, considering the president had a real problem with memory, is kind of funny when you think about it. Some are saying, oh, yeah, the bookstores, they order a bunch of these because she's going to do appearances and she might do book signings and all of that. But Nate Silver says that the debut at the number one time on the New York Times due to AstroTurf bulk orders, before noting it was completely off the list 2 weeks later and calling such a rapid decline very rare. The same went with Gavin Newsom's book. By the way, his fortunes, political fortunes, have declined greatly. His chance of becoming the president are becoming exactly what I've been saying for now years, which is he's never going to be the president of the United States. And neither is J.B. Pritzker. Neither one of them are ever going to be the president of the United States. Mike Davis, he's absolutely awesome. He's talking with Steve Bannon about the Save America Act, which, of course, would require you prove your citizenship to enjoy one of the rights of only citizens, and that is the vote. And here is what Mike had to say. He's by the way, with the Article 3 project, very learned on this stuff.
You don't need 60 votes. You need 50 votes plus the vice president. You need 60 votes to end debate, to end endless debate in the Senate, to invoke cloture and end debate.
So we could end mass debating.
Do not need 60 votes to pass legislation. So what you do is you say to the Democrats, if you want to oppose a bill, the Save America Act, that has 80+% of support of Americans, including Democrats, including minorities, including Black Americans, then you need to stand on your 2 feet on the Senate floor for August recess. And then the Senate Democrats will run out of gas, and then we can hold the vote and pass the Save America Act with a simple majority vote. I guarantee you there are more votes than 50 votes to pass the Save America Act. I guarantee you if you actually hold the vote, it would be closer to 60 votes, because Senate Democrats do not want to vote against the bill that has the support of 80% of Americans, including Democrats, minorities, including Black Americans.
Yeah, because if they did a vote, it would expose them to the people they're not representing. Jim Gossett.
The SAVE Act, we really need it now, that our Supreme Court, they ruled wrong. It is opposed.
It's opposed
by several rhinos. You and I know screwed us for so long.
Yeah, I'm getting kind of tired of it.
But don't forget, we need ID, or in trouble we're gonna be.
Cha-cha-cha.
Hey, Senate, pass the SAVE Act
for me. I like this.
Democrats, they are rats. They hope the SAVE Act they can help defeat.
Yeah, they suck.
They don't want to stop the steal. When votes are real, it is hard to cheat. When it's approved, the Dems will panic and lose the midterms. Wait and see. Stop stalling. Pass the SAVE Act for me.
There you go. That's good. Jim Gossett, ladies and gentlemen, go to patreon.com, Jim Gossett Comedy, patreon.com. Jim Gossett Comedy. Susan Collins is running ahead of where public polling placed her during the 2020 re-election campaign, even as a New York Times Portland Press Herald Siena survey finds Democrat Graham Plattner narrowly leading in Maine's 2026 Senate race. She was way behind in 2020, and right now she's neck and neck with this scumbag piece of crap. I mean, one of the worst examples of a human being you could possibly imagine. No sense of humor, a dark soul, a really, really bad man. You know why he's running? Because no decent man, masculine man who embraces the fatherhood and whatnot wants to be a Democrat because they're bloody embarrassing. I mean, my God, James Tallarico. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? James Tallarico and Graham Plattner are the Democrat candidates for Senate. They're the Democrats' idea of what a man is. Yeah, I know, it's amazing. Crazy cat ladies and the emasculated men in their lives. There you go. Susan Collins, 49-47. She's behind by 2. The sampling error, plus or minus 4.8, means she could very well be ahead, and I think she probably is. There you go. And Tarico, by the way, Tallarico, the Frico is also like I think Paxton is ahead. This is, by the way, we're talking about this TPS, temporary protection status, and there was some concern by Mark Wayne Mullen doing an interview this weekend that people who are from Haiti who should have gone home 15 years ago were going to stay, and he was going to give them a pathway and all that. He cleared it up yesterday.
All right, there's a lot of talk about this court ruling for TPS. What is TPS? Temporary protective status. Let me emphasize on that first word, temporary. Now, there's a lot of talk going on because why the Supreme Court just recently ruled that President Trump can end TPS for a certain group of individuals. Temporary meant temporary.
What?
There's 2 options now if you fall underneath the category that the court just ruled on. You can self-deport.
Yep.
We will buy you an airline ticket
Bye.
and give you $2,600 to go back to either the country you go to or a country you choose that will accept you. Or we'll come find you. And if you think you're going to just wait out the Trump administration, it's not going to work. We will find you and we will deport you. Do yourself a favor. Go on to DHS's website and say, I want to self-deport. And we will immediately start working on your case. Provide you with the money, provide you with airline ticket, and send you on your way.
Now, in municipalities where the Haitian refugees have been brought in, unlike, they never go to Martha's Vineyard, they always go to working communities. They're thrilled about this. In Springfield, Ohio, there's a Dole factory there, and what they've done is they fired a lot of American employees. They bring in these Haitians, pay them $12 an hour, and then literally pay for a house for dozens of them to stay in. Okay? Yeah, it's grotesque. It always has been, and they should have been out of here a long time ago. Even Janet Napolitano, when she was working with Biden, admitted that. I have audio from that coming up. Let's take a break and come back. This is The Rob Carson Show.
The Rob Carson Show is presented by Paramount Plus.
The Agency. All episodes now streaming on Paramount Plus. In a world of espionage, truth is a moving target and every decision carries a dangerous consequence. This new mission explores what it means to live as a double agent, twice the lies, twice the risk. The lines between ally and enemy blur like never before, and survival depends on trusting no one. Starring Michael Fassbender, Jeffrey Wright, Jodie Turner-Smith, and Richard Gere. Don't miss The Agency. All episodes now streaming on Paramount Plus.
It sucks to be you. Tom Massey, you're through. You're an anti-Semite. On Tuesday night, voters said adieu. Bill Cassidy, too. Bet he's feeling blue. Bill had to go. Voters told him no. From every bayou. Indiana was grand. It went just as planned. 7 rhinos were beat. Payback complete. Those traitors got canned. In Georgia, Raffensperger got beat. That's why they say Revenge is sweet, it sucks to be you. Miserable you, it sucks to be you.
The bottom line is this. Donald Trump is the general of the Republican Party, and the Republican primary voters are his soldiers.
MTG replaced. Herself, she's disgraced. Liz Cheney sent home from the Capitol dome. She got her due. That is why John Cornyn is vexed. He has to know that he is next. It sucks to be you. Endangered you. It sucks to be you.
Hey guys, it's Carson for Ghost Bed. Do you really want another summer like last summer, barely sleeping because you were too hot all night? People blame summer heat for bad sleep when it really may be their mattress trapping heat. And if you already sleep hot, summer only makes it worse. That's why I switched to Ghost Bed. Helps keep you cool all night, no waking up sweaty, tossing and turning, or throwing the covers off at 2 a.m. Cooling tech is built into every mattress. It's not some expensive upgrade you have to pay extra for. Hot sleepers are some of Ghost Bed's happiest customers. Read the reviews. You get incredible support, less stiffness, deeper sleep, more rested mornings. I got my Ghost Bed about 6 months ago, and it changed my life. Ghost Bed gives you 101 nights to try it at home. You can sleep on it all summer long and feel the difference for yourself. How many more summers are you going to waste on bad sleep? Ghost Bed is currently having their 4th of July sale, offering my audience an extra 10% off. Go to ghostbed.com/Carson. Use the promo code Carson. That's ghostbed.com/Carson, promo code Carson.
That was in 2010, 15 years ago. Then the Biden administration, in its last year, extends TPS to every single illegal alien from Haiti while they are flying them en masse into Springfield, Ohio, across the Midwest. It was a formal policy of replacing the communities that lived in, settled, and sustained these communities for generations. It was one of the most heinous things this government has ever done. And yes, under President Trump, let me be very clear, the illegal alien Haitians are going back to Haiti. They can build their country there.
There you go. Stop, make your country not suck anymore. Honestly, that's just the way it's got to be. We cannot bring in everyone in the world. And these people were brought here because of an earthquake 16 years ago. Here is Janet Napolitano. Remember Janet Napolitano working with the Biden administration? Here she is talking about this in 2010.
I signed the order beginning or for the process of TPS status for Haitians already in the United States. This is a kind of an intermediate immigration status that allows those who are here to remain and to work. And as they work, of course, many send remittances back home. It will be good for 18 months. from the date of the issuance, so that will be in July of 2011.
Yeah, July of 2011 is when they should have all gone home. So, too bad, so sad. That's just the way it's got to be. And you overstayed, and now you got to go. This is Stephen Miller again, clarifying what Mark Way Mullen said about this.
So Secretary Mullen was simply saying, and I'm glad for the chance to talk about that. He was simply saying what is true for everybody in this country here, illegally or otherwise, which is you can always go to a website and submit an application. But the reality is that illegal aliens from Haiti are overwhelmingly ineligible for any immigration benefit in the United States. They're public charges. They're public safety threats.
Yeah.
They have no legal status. They have no visa.
Yep.
So all Mark Wayne is saying is what has always been true, which is that we have specific visas, specific eligibility criteria. In theory, of course, anyone can apply for anything. But I want to be clear in saying to your audience, they have no right to be here. They don't belong here. Biden flew them here unconstitutionally. And President Trump's going to make sure that we send them home. And again, Haitians can build up Haiti for other Haitians, and we're going to take care of America.
And by the way, Haiti has sucked since it was originally founded. It's been a hellhole ever since. So it's never changed. Just the way it is. Remember when Donald Trump said there were S-hole countries all over the world? I would classify Haiti as one of those. And Somalia. Yeah, we're discovering that. We can say it now without, being racist, I guess, whatever. Kind of utterly ridiculous, but that's just the way it is, man. And by the way, 2/3 of Haitians here are on welfare. It's much higher with Somalians living in Minnesota. So there you go. I mentioned yesterday a bunch of Democrats have decided they're going to boycott this American State Fair that's going on here in Washington, D.C. I was hoping to make it down there last week, and it was raining, so I didn't make it down. But I am going to make it down there. And one of the states that was boycotting, I guess, is Rhode Island. And Senator Jessica de la Cruz went down there to see Rhode Island. And the reason why these states are not participating is because their governors are petulant children who honestly, and this is the most disgusting thing about it. This is the 250th anniversary of the United States of America. Donald Trump just happens to be the president of the United States. This is not about Donald Trump. And it is an affront to the people of your state who work hard to make your state at least livable, who bust their butts in agriculture and other industries to pay the taxes that keep these idiot politicians in office, by the way. And anyway, here is this Jessica de la Cruz walking down by the Rhode Island booth.
This is Rhode Island's contribution to America's 250th birthday. There it is, folks. It's an empty booth. A state that helped found this very nation couldn't show up to celebrate it. Rhode Island's story is the American story. It's the birthplace of religious liberty. It's the state that held out on signing the Constitution until we had the Bill of Rights. But our state leader said, nope, it costs too much. But let's be real, let's be honest. Most other states found a way.
Yeah.
Like finding sponsors, which we could have done.
Yep.
So while I'm in DC for a conference, I had to stop at our empty booth to really stand in the gap, because our state story is worth telling. It's American history. It's part of our founding. So from my family to yours, happy birthday, USA.
This obviously shows that the Democrat Party sucks even more than we could have ever imagined. I mentioned that the statistics with regard to the Democrat Party, they are so angry that they got their rear ends kicked up between their shoulders in 2024, even though they tried to put Donald Trump in prison, take away his fortune, take him off the ballot, raided Mar-a-Lago 2 impeachments, then tried to kill him 4 times. They failed, and so they're throwing this petulant, stupid temper tantrum, and I think it's a damn shame. Josh Shapiro of Pennsylvania, everybody's thinking he's some sort of moderate whatever. He said he couldn't find any Pennsylvania businesses to join the Great American State Fair. Days later, they started lining up. Crayola, the Pennsylvania Coal Alliance, Core Natural Resources, Quandale Construction, Utz Pretzels, that's Pennsylvania, oh my God, Utz Pretzels, I love Utz Pretzels, Orvis Hill Country, GNC for God's sake, MSA, the Safety Company, Vitro Glass, Marcellus Shale Coalition, all of these got together with John Fetterman and Senator McCormick out of Pennsylvania, and they've made a display that is making Josh Shapiro look like a complete moron.
Team McCormick welcomes you the Great American Day Fair. Come on in.
All right, this is more visual than anything. But they have put together a hell of a display down there with historical things. And I heard even not to scale, but certainly a replica of the Liberty Bell. Of the Liberty Bell. Yeah, yeah. And Josh Shapiro thought that he would just ignore it altogether. It really is so just disgusting. It means a lot to me because, you know, I'm a Midwest boy, and the fair was always a big deal. That's where you went to show the fruits of your labor. That's where you went to show your produce. That's where you went for tractor pulls. That's where you went for, you know, all of these things to come together. The only thing that this fair is missing are the toothless carnies. I miss that. I miss that a lot. I miss these guys, you know, playing games of chance with dirty stuffed animals that nobody ever wins, or giving away goldfish when you throw a ring around something and you get this goldfish that dies like a day later. I miss that. You know, I miss the greasiness of the funnel cake and the deep fried Oreo and all of the caloric and cholesterolic food of the fair. That's the only thing that is missing down there. But that it is. On the way, Donald Trump is not only renovating and making Washington, D.C. absolutely stunning, he's going to be redoing a golf course here and making it into what will be eventually a site for PGA tours to stop. So that's coming up. And then also Judge Jeanine Pirro talking about the new communist who could be mayor of Washington, D.C. and what she and Donald Trump are going to do to stop her from wrecking the city. That's coming up. This is the Rob Carson Show.
Hey, listen, are you... what I can tell you is that the park police are very much on top of what's going on, that there have been many citations issued, and that my office will be prosecuting any crimes. And let anyone who comes to this district who thinks that he or she is going to vandalize the reflecting pool or any kind of monument, you're facing 10 years in prison.
Yay.
So don't get smart, because we're on the lookout for them, and I'm happy to prosecute.
I love that. I love me some Janine Pirro. She's awesome. I met her, by the way. I met her at a gathering with Mike Davis. She's just, I've had a crush on her for a very long. I'll just be honest. I've got a crush on her. She's a little older than me, but whatever. After touring Lafayette Square, Trump touts D.C. renovations, blasts the animals who vandalized the reflecting pool, and they'll spend 10 years in jail. East Potomac Golf Links is a golf course that he says is going to make it into one of the greatest golf courses anywhere in the world, and it will host major golf tournaments, including the U.S. Open, Ryder Cup, the PGA Championship, and other top PGA Tour events. And it should. It's apparently got a brilliant view. I've never been down there and played golf. I kind of gave up playing golf when I had children. I know. I gave up everything when I had children. Everything fun. Except for raising children, because I really enjoyed it. The dilapidated, worn out, and very dangerous and outdated golf course known as East Potomac Golf Links is what how Donald Trump described it. They're going to make it great again, even though I guess a judge tried to prevent it from happening because they were just being D-words for Richard. The grass is largely dead. The greens are virtually unplayable, and the course is in very poor general condition after many years of horrendous maintenance, and it will be a showpiece, by the way. It will be a showpiece if Donald Trump gets a hold of it. So there you go. But again, the Democrat Party is gnashing its teeth and, all of that, trying to prevent Donald Trump from getting credit for anything positive, even when it is profoundly positive. It's profoundly positive. It's so stupid. I want to mention real quick here Caitlin Clark. And the savior of the NBA, the WNBA, because before that I didn't know a single player in the WNBA, and I would venture to say probably 80 or 90% of you didn't as well. But there are some individuals who say that one individual who says that the WNBA would be better off without her. It'd be like saying the NBA, when the Bulls were really winning in the 90s, would be better off without Michael Jordan because he's a distraction. But he's black. Doesn't matter. Say Larry Bird back in the day. Honestly, who cares? We shouldn't be celebrating America 250. We wouldn't be, I should say, celebrating America 250. It wasn't for a strong foundation set by the framers. Hamilton built America's financial foundation on the principle of sound, stable money, a principle later embodied by the gold standard, which we abandoned in 1971 and have since seen inflation erode the dollar's value. I mean, honestly, look at how many dollars you go through every single month just to pay the rent, just to pay the groceries. What is the foundation of your savings? Is it gold, or is it something that can be shaken, disrupted, or devalued? Birch Gold has been helping Americans solidify their savings with gold for the past 15 years. They'll help you convert an existing IRA like they did with me or 401k into a tax-sheltered IRA in gold. Learn how this fits into your portfolio by texting my name, Rob, to the number 989898. For Birch Gold, you're just going to get free, no-obligation info kit. There you go, no obligación, only información. A-plus rating with the BBB, countless 5-star reviews. Let Birch Gold help build your foundation with gold. Text my name, Rob, to the number 989898. Text Rob to 989898. For Birch Gold, here is Outkick founder Dave Portnoy talking about Caitlin Clark.
She gets treated and attacked and harassed differently than virtually every player. She's had it since she entered the league, but it is a very rough and tumble league to begin with. Like, there's other UC chippy plays and things like that, but people are watching Caitlin specifically. People are watching the league specifically for Caitlin, and you see her getting abused and no whistle and no suspensions, and you'd have quotes from team owners, from players, from the commissioner that was just asinine. They just don't want to accept how important she is. The only reason they are flying private is because of her. Yeah. The only reason they have a new CBA is because of her. But somehow it's seen as a sign of disrespect to like the players that came before or whatever if you give her flowers for that.
Can you imagine if when Michael Jordan was drafted to the Bulls, if the other players resented him and the other teams bullied him because they were jealous of him and they were petulant children? Honestly, it is ridiculous, and it's kind of also interesting. You've got the people in the WNBA who are angry at Caitlin Clark for her success, the money she's making, and the fact that she's not a lesbian and she's white. Could you imagine that in the NBA? Could you imagine if most of the players were gay in the NBA and they hated a player because they were white and not gay? I can't imagine. Could you imagine that? These players like, well, stop it. We don't want him on our team. He's too successful. It would be a completely different. Would it be a completely different ballgame? I mean, a completely different ballgame if it were NBA players who were gay, hating black gays, hating on white guys who are straight. It would be right. It's a little interesting, isn't it? It's a little interesting, isn't it? Emmanuel Acho. Sounds kind of dirty. WNBA would be better off with Caitlin Clark. I mean, honestly, good luck with that. Good luck with that.
The W at this junction in time would be better without Caitlin Clark because she is a bigger distraction than she is an additive. Caitlin Clark has gotten the W.
It's one of the most absurd things you could possibly say because most of us didn't even pay attention to the WNBA before Caitlin Clark.
NBA over the necessary threshold they needed. Now people are watching. Now we realize, oh, there's talent in the W. Talent that's actually even greater than Caitlin Clark. And I'm not just talking about bigs like Asia. I'm talking about the Olivia Miles. I'm talking about the Paige Beckers. Hell, I'm talking about the Kelsey Mitchells.
Yeah, nobody's heard of them or would have heard of them had not Caitlin Clark done so well in college, scoring more points than any player in college basketball, men and women.
Caitlin got the necessary eyes there. But now that the eyes are there, we don't necessarily need her anymore.
You go ahead and say that. You go ahead and say that. You are sealing your own doom. That is just one of the dumbest things you could possibly say. Rather than embracing someone like a Jordan, whether embracing someone like a Kobe, and instead rejecting them and saying, oh no, they brought attention to the league, but now we can get rid of them. I mean, honestly, good luck with that. You will have no fans if you continue down this road. Let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show. Hey guys, it's Rob Carson with another great deal from Birch Gold. Hi kids. I'm going to talk about Mexican Batman next. Mexican Batman. Do. Mexican Batman. Hello. It is the duty of Congress in the Republican Party to solve the birthright citizenship by amending the Constitution. Well, it's not. It's a tough row to hoe. I'll tell you that. I will tell you that. It's not been done in a while. Hello, Wild Bill West. Hello, Valentina. What are you guys talking about here? Minor earthquake the other day. Tom K., you had a minor earthquake. Where's that? Where the hell is that? My God. We had an earthquake when I lived here in Washington, D.C. years ago. This is one of the reasons I left that S-hole state of Rhode Island. I've never been to Rhode Island. Never been. Family Guy is I guess that's where they live, is Rhode Island. Family Guy, yeah, right? Simpsons are just from Springfield. I think it's Springfield, Illinois. I really do. Because there's only one town that gets sucked that bad, and it's Springfield, Illinois. I lived there. I live near a Springfield, Virginia. I haven't seen a lot of it, but what I've seen over by the mall, not a big fan. Andrew Cody, gotta love when Rob talks with his old dried salami. What the hell are you talking about? Since my dad had lots of fond memories. There you go. What you talking about there? All righty. This is what happens when I just kind of join into your conversations later on. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? You guys have your own ecosystems over here, and I love it, by the way. I love it. Sush 6. Here we go. Time for me to talk.
Show us how to live.
Audio slave. Come on. Kick it. Ready? 2, 3, 4. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. So you guys want to hear about Mexican Batman? There's a Mexican Batman, ladies and gentlemen. I put together a special Mexican Batman theme.
Cuando juegue a la ruleta.
¿Sí? Apueste siempre al negro. ¿Batman? ¿Qué haces? ¿Te has metido en la boca del lobo? ¡Es una locura! ¿Quieres hacer locuras? Vamos. Hagamos locuras. Porque he escrito una canción sobre cómo voy a dar para el pelo.
Soy Batman. En las noches vigilaré. Batman. En cada esquina estaré. Soy el alter ego de Bruce Wayne.
Bruce Wayne. See, I told you I weave a tapestry of audio on this sound that nobody else does. I found Batman in Spanish. Thank you very much. I know. In the Mexican state of Jalisco, a Mexican vigilante is being called Batman for his rampage against suspected thieves. The Dark Knight is now, it's not a guy's skin color, so stop it, is now wanted by police for chasing down suspected motorbike thieves around town and taping them to lampposts. At least 5 men were discovered hopelessly duct taped to street poles after 10 days, beginning in June 3rd in the area of Lagos de Moreno, Jalisco. A Mexican vigilante is wanted by police for allegedly chasing down and duct taping suspected motorbike thieves to lampposts. I kind of like this guy's, I like the cut of this guy's jib, to be quite honest.
En las noches vigilaré. Batman. En cada esquina estaré. Soy el alter ego de Bruce Wayne.
There you go. You know how you say Batman in Spanish? Batman. You know how you say Bruce Wayne in Spanish? Bruce Wayne. There you go. God bless you, America's founded Donald Trump. He's doing a great job. Screw these Democrat Socialists until tomorrow, which is Wednesday. Do not catch the stupid Batman. See you then.
The Rob Carson Show is presented by Paramount Plus.
Information. Truth. Is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.